What's up, Gauri? Why you sit sulking? You had a tiff with your mother today too?
Mother scolded me today and called me lazy.
Why mother scolded you and called you a lazy girl?
Today I woke up late. Every day I wake up early and do my assignments smartly.
It's okay, get up. Fetch me a glass of hot water from the kitchen. Don't add cold water to it. Nandagopan, what are the words you noted down from the conversation?
Words I noted down are lazy, smart, early, late, hot, and cold. Sir, aren't they opposite words?
Well said, Nandagopan. These types of words, opposite in meaning, are called antonyms. Can you find some more examples for antonyms from the textbook?
Sir, some children use bad words in the class.
Well, what are the bad words they use in the class?
Sir, they use the words like silly, idiotic, witless, stupid, and so on.
These words are all somewhat similar in meaning. Such words are called synonyms.
Excuse me, sir. Which are the commonly used synonyms and antonyms?
Synonyms are words of similar or same meaning. For instance, let us see these words: enemy, opponent, adversary, rebel, rival, antagonist. And now let's take a look at what antonyms are. Antonyms are words of opposite meaning. See, the most commonly used words. Sometimes in our daily life, we are forced to use some words that is the opposite in meaning. Late, early, slow, fast, quick, slow, light, heavy, appear, disappear, willing, unwilling. Dear children, from a recently learned Class 8 English textbook, we learned a fact. Every creature in nature is created in different shapes and size and with a purpose. The long tail of a monkey, long neck of a giraffe, long trunk of an elephant, the short neck of a pig, everything has got a purpose. So we cannot say one thing is good and convenient and the other one is bad and inconvenient. And one thing is good and convenient and the other one is bad and inconvenient. We should accommodate and accept every diversity as one. We should adjust and accommodate all these diversities as part of nature. Well, Sarang, can you guess which is that lesson?
Sir, isn't it the lesson The Boy Who Drew Cats?
Well, I take it for granted you all enjoyed the story, didn't you?
Yes, sir. We really enjoyed the story and didn't get the meaning of some words. Sir, what's the meaning of the words lad and acolyte?
Oh, these two seem strange words for you. Well, firstly we'll consider their pronunciation and then their meaning. Lad means boy. Its feminine gender is lass. Lad is boy, lass is girl. Next, acolyte. Acolyte. An acolyte is an assistant or a helper at a religious ceremony, or a helper or an assistant of a priest at a temple.
Sir, what's the difference between the words older and elder?
Well, it's a good question. Older and elder are the comparative forms of old, but there is slight difference in their usage. Let's see what the difference in usage is. Older is normally used while comparing the ages of people who are unrelated, not family members or blood relatives. For instance, Raju and Roy are neighbors. Raju is older than Roy by 2 years. Now let's see the usage of elder. Elder is normally used while comparing the ages of family members of blood relatives. My brother is 2 years elder to me. My brother is 2 years elder to me. One is older than and the other one is elder to. Older than and elder to. One is used to compare the ages of people who are unrelated. Another one is used to compare the ages of family members or blood relatives.
By the way, sir, what does the expression "he really couldn't help it" mean?
Oh, I expected some of you would ask such a question because it's a strange expression for you. Cannot or could not help doing something means could not control, resist or stop doing something. For instance, she couldn't help crying when the nurse injected her. She couldn't help crying when the nurse injected her. Similarly, I couldn't help laughing when my friend fell down from the bicycle. I couldn't help laughing when my friend fell down from the bicycle. Is it clear, Gauri? Well, children, all of you enjoyed the story, The Boy Who Drew Cats, narrated by the author. Now let me ask you a different question. If you were in place of the boy in the story, how would you narrate the story? Who will try?
Sir, shall I make an attempt?
Of course, go ahead.
I was born to a farmer's family in a remote village in Japan. My brothers helped father in farming and my sisters helped mother in the household work. I was the youngest and weakest of my siblings and couldn't help father or mother. I also had a small habit of drawing cats. I would draw cats with whatever I could get my hands on. My parents decided to send me to the nearby village temple as an acolyte. After I answered the questions the priest asked, he took me in. For a few days, I controlled my urge to draw cats, but I couldn't keep it in. When I started drawing on the walls and screens, the priest warned me several times, but I couldn't help it. One day, the priest pulled me aside and said that I couldn't be a priest, but I can be a great artist. He also advised me to keep to small places and avoid large spaces at night. I was confused but even more scared that father might scold me. So I went to the next village temple. There was no one there as a big goblin rat scared them away. But little did I know that when I going in, I found big walls to draw on and became happy. A few hours later, I was feeling sleepy and tired. But then I remembered the priest's words and hid in a nearby cabin. At about midnight, I was awoken by some screaming. I was too scared to move, so I waited till morning and peeped through the cabin. I got out and found a big goblin rat lying dead in a massive pool of blood on the floor.